Let's get straight to the point. You need to hear this without beating around the bush. Have you ever wondered why, all of a sudden, a woman simply loses respect for you? The answer might hurt, but it's the only one that can truly set you free. The responsibility is entirely yours. I'm not here to judge you, but to help you see the truth and change the game. Transformation begins when you have the courage to face your own mistakes and the determination to take action to change the course of your story. There are many men out there believing in the ridiculous illusion that the key to earning a woman's respect is constantly chasing her, being the good guy all the time, full of gifts, promises, and sweet words. Let me tell you a hard, raw truth. This strategy is a monumental failure. Worse, it's the fastest way to bury yourself emotionally. It turns you into someone without value in her eyes, someone who lacks a firm stance and isn't capable of asserting himself when necessary. A woman notices when a man is willing to do everything to please her, and that doesn't inspire respect, but rather pity and boredom. And it's that feeling of pity that undermines the relationship and destroys any possibility of genuine love. In today's video, we're going to dismantle this illusion that respect can be bought. I'll teach you how to step out of that doormat role and make her finally realize how much you're worth. I'll show you how to turn the game around and make her deeply regret underestimating you. But before we continue, I need to warn you. This isn't for everyone. If you're not ready to hear the truths and reclaim your dignity, it's better not to proceed. Now, if you want to change this situation once and for all and make her respect you again, then let's begin. First, if you haven't already, we ask that you support us by liking and subscribing. First point, you need to cut off the source. Let's be clear. You are primarily responsible for the contempt she feels for you. And do you know how you fuel this poison? By putting her on a pedestal, making empty promises, and showering her with gifts, all in an attempt to regain respect that has long been trampled. Wake up. This kind of attitude only reinforces how easy it is to manipulate you. Every time you take money out of your pocket or sacrifice your time to please her, all she sees is how simple it is to make you submit. She has learned to use contempt and coldness as tools to turn you into a doormat. And that's what happens. A gesture of indifference from her, and there you are, running after her with another gift in hand, like a trained puppy. But look, she will keep playing this game as long as you allow it. So, what to do? You need to break this cycle of emotional dependency, cut off the source of energy she drains from you. Stop being the faithful servant who does anything for a minimum of affection, and start being someone who knows how to value himself and prioritize his own happiness. What she needs to understand is that you are not for sale, and that your attention has value. To change this situation, you need to cut off the source. Stop spending your money, your time, and your energy on someone who doesn't respect you. When you stop chasing her, being the nice guy all the time, she'll realize she lost control. Then comes the surprise. She'll wonder what's happening. And it's exactly at that moment that the game changes. You regain power and the advantage. And don't be mistaken. Power isn't about control or domination. It's about self-respect and not accepting less than you deserve. Being respected isn't a privilege you grant to someone. It's a right you must demand for yourself, without fear. A man who can recognize a woman's genuine interest is a man who doesn't get fooled. That's the emotional intelligence you need to develop and apply. Stop being the provider for someone who doesn't value you. Because as long as you continue down that path, you're signing your own sentence of eternal contempt. Cut that out at the root now. Don't buy respect. Demand respect. Respect isn't something you can purchase, but something you earn by being authentic and firm. And that firmness is perceived through your actions, the way you set boundaries and show that you're willing to enforce them. Another important thing, show indifference. From childhood, we've learned that bad behavior shouldn't be rewarded. The same goes for relationships. When she treats you badly, the last thing you should do is chase after her. Demonstrating indifference is one of the most powerful weapons you have, but few know how to use it effectively. This means you should stop being the firefighter in the relationship, the one who always puts out fires she creates. Let her face the consequences of her own actions and learn to value those who truly matter. It's not about being cold or calculating, but about not rewarding bad behaviors that only diminish you. If you always react to contempt by chasing attention, you're only showing that no matter how badly she treats you, you'll always be there, begging for a little more. Instead, what you should do is ignore, not just the behavior, but also the person she's becoming in the relationship. And nobody likes to be ignored, especially someone who's used to having control. This indifference must be genuine. It's not about playing games, but about showing her that the value of your attention is far greater than the contemptible behavior she's been displaying. You need her to understand that your absence is more powerful than any attempt to please her. When you ignore the mental games, you make her feel lost. Contempt, which was previously a weapon to keep you under control, becomes a problem for her. The more you ignore, the more power you regain. And that's where the magic happens. She starts to realize that she's losing control of the situation, and that despairs her. She will chase after you because she realizes that the only way to keep you close is by reassessing her own attitudes. And it's at that moment that she realizes that if she wants to continue having you by her side, she will need to change her approach and truly value you. This is the tipping point where the game completely changes as you stop being an available option and become someone who demands respect. Face reality. If a woman despises you, it's because she feels she has you in the palm of her hand, emotionally dependent. Want to change that? Show that you have options and that you're not afraid to use them. Many men fall into the trap of showing that they're always available. This only makes the woman feel that you have no options and that you'll accept anything she does. You need to be clear. You're not here to waste time with someone who doesn't know how to value you. You have options, and you won't hesitate to move forward if necessary. And this doesn't mean you should be looking for other people to replace her, but rather that you value yourself enough to know when it's time to move on. The simple fact that you have options turns you into someone who can't be manipulated so easily. This isn't just about scaring her, but about freeing yourself, knowing that you're capable of moving forward, that you're worthy of something better. If she's not willing to value you, then she'll lose you. And this isn't just a message for her, but a message to yourself. You are worth more than that. Respect yourself enough to not accept being treated like a toy. The power of your life should always be in your hands. Make sure she knows that, and make sure you also know it yourself. When you make this clear, you create a boundary of respect that no one dares to cross. Reclaim your personal power. When you submit to contempt, you're handing over your personal power on a silver platter. You're allowing your emotions and your decisions to be controlled by another person. But there comes a time when you need to wake up and make a crucial decision. Take back control of your own life. No one has the right to treat you like a disposable option, and it's crucial to remember this in every moment of weakness, when the urge to chase after attention arises. Reclaiming your power starts with redefining your priorities and your boundaries. Stop letting her behavior dictate the rules of your game. Put yourself first, and you'll realize that her contempt becomes irrelevant. And here's the secret. When you regain control over your life, you start attracting people who truly respect you, who value who you are. No dirty games, just respect and value. This is where true love and respect come into play, when you're firm in your worth and don't accept less. A man who knows himself and can set boundaries is a man who values himself, and it's exactly this type of man who attracts healthy relationships and genuine admiration. Show total indifference. That's right, real indifference. It's not enough to pretend you don't care. You need to genuinely stop caring. I know it's hard, especially if you still feel something for her, but indifference is the key to turning the game around. When she realizes that her actions no longer affect you, that you're no longer chasing her, the entire dynamic changes. Suddenly, you're the one in control, not her. And most importantly, you're not pretending. You truly don't care anymore. Your life moves forward, regardless of her presence or absence. And that, my friend, is liberating. Be indifferent to the point of not reacting to provocations, not letting her actions affect you, not seeking her approval. Continue your life as if her actions had no relevance. And that's when you become the true protagonist of your own life. A protagonist who doesn't let himself be defined by others' approval, but who finds strength and confidence within himself. The ability to be indifferent to manipulation attempts isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're in control of your own story. You're writing your own script, and in that script, there's no room for contempt or emotional games. Another fundamental point: build your life outside the relationship. Many men make the mistake of making the relationship the center of their universe. This only gives more power to the one who despises you. Start focusing on yourself. Invest in your interests, your career, your hobbies, your friendships. This not only rebuilds your self-esteem, but also shows that you don't depend on her to be happy. And when you do this, you naturally become more attractive. A person who has a full and interesting life is much more valuable because they demonstrate that their happiness depends solely on themselves. She starts to realize that even if she's not around, you're well and fulfilled, and that changes her entire perception of you. By building a rich life outside the relationship, you reclaim your strength and put yourself back in control of your life. If she doesn't make part of your future, you'll be more than prepared to move forward without looking back. And more than that, you'll be happy with yourself, regardless of any situation. The secret here is to cultivate a life that brings you pleasure and fulfillment. A life that doesn't depend on anyone else. Seek adventures, fulfill old dreams, constantly challenge yourself to be better. When you're focused on growing and fulfilling yourself, the need for another person's approval becomes insignificant. Every moment you invest in yourself is a step away from toxicity and brings personal fulfillment. And that attracts people who are truly worth it, who will admire your autonomy and your commitment to your own happiness. And finally, don't be afraid to let go. Often, contempt is a sign that the relationship has already given all it had to offer. Insisting on something that doesn't do you good is an endless emotional abyss. Letting go isn't weakness. It's a sign of courage and self-love. By letting go, you create space for something much better to enter your life. It can be another person, but more importantly, you create space for a better version of yourself. Imagine the potential of a man who puts himself first, who recognizes his own worth, and is willing to seek the best for himself in any situation. This kind of inner strength attracts the best, not only in relationships but also in life opportunities. The universe tends to reward those who are brave enough to leave behind what no longer serves. In the end, the most important choice is always to choose yourself. Value who you are. When you put yourself first, the people who don't value you naturally leave your path, while those who truly see your worth come closer. And that's the greatest power you can have. This power allows you to live with dignity, without ever submitting to contempt or scraps of attention from someone who doesn't recognize your value. Living with dignity means living knowing that you deserve to be loved and respected for who you are, without needing to beg for it. Remember, you are responsible for defining how you will be treated, and that definition begins with what you accept or reject in your life. By choosing yourself, you completely redefine the standards of your life. You start to set a clear boundary where only those who are truly capable of respecting and valuing you are allowed to be by your side. That's true freedom. Instead of clinging to toxic relationships that only drain your energy, you open yourself up to genuine love, the kind that is built on a solid foundation of mutual respect and admiration. And there's no greater power than living a life where you're loved for exactly who you are, without needing to diminish yourself or change to please someone. That's the kind of love that's worth pursuing, and that's what you should seek. A love that strengthens not because you surrendered your dignity, but because you remained true to yourself all along. If this video brought you clarity and helped you see things differently, don't forget to leave your like and share it with someone who also needs to hear this message. Subscribe to the channel for more content that gets straight to the point and helps you be the best version of yourself. Remember, the power to transform your life is in your hands. You deserve to be the protagonist of your own story, so never accept less than you truly deserve. And when you put yourself first, you become an example for other men who are still trapped in the cycle of emotional dependency. Together, we can change this mindset and live with more respect and authenticity. Be authentic, be true, and above all, respect yourself. When you value yourself, the quality of all your relationships transforms and your own life elevates to a new level. Every step you take towards self-love is a step toward a fuller, dignified, and happier life. Let's be men who know their worth and demand to be treated accordingly. At the end of the day, the person who will be by your side is yourself. Make sure that person is worth it. Do the work of self-discovery, be your own pillar of strength, and build the life you deserve to live. Remember, you are the author of your own story, so write a story you can be proud of. Don't forget, the world respects those who respect themselves first, and your journey begins now.